Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest edition of the Junior All-Star Season Preview Show. Tonight with me, I have the Prior Lake girls basketball team. Welcome, welcome, ladies and coach. Coach, we'll start with you and have you introduce yourself to the audience.
Yes, I am Coach Demondi Johnson. I am the girls varsity coach at Prior Lake, and this is my second season at Prior Lake. Super excited. Love my girls. Can't wait to get them on the court, and thank you for having us.
We'll kick it to the players. Bree, will have you start.
I'm Bree Bowman, and I'm a freshman. Do I pick someone now?
Yeah, you'll just say who goes next.
Okay, CeCe.
I'm CeCe McNair. I'm a center grade sophomore, and then Alaya.
I'm Alaya Carter. I'm a freshman, and did I just pick somebody now? Julia.
I'm Julia Thoms. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a guard. Anna.
Muted, unfortunately. Sorry, Anna. One thing. While we get that, Lauren, how about you introduce yourself?
I'm Lauren Pawlyshyn. I'm a junior and I play point guard.
Young team coach. I'm not hearing the word senior. That's got to be a good feeling. Can kind of build up that.
I don't know. I'm a little scared. No, I'm just joking. I'm excited. Young group for sure, but yeah, we're gonna be excited. I think Anna's back now. I think
I see her back. Is everything okay? We're just trying to get her unmuted. I'm trying to see if I have the ability to unmute them. Let's see. We'll get it. I promise, Anna. We'll hear from you. I promise. So, Coach, while we get Anna situated and unmuted, how about you, just kind of, what I always do is say as we go, we look back at last year a little bit, just kind of, it was a crazy season, call it the COVID year. I'm sure the girls are thrilled without having the mask. I always joke, I think the coach probably are going to miss it. So, sometimes they could say a few things that were muffled a little bit, but I'm sure the girls are probably thrilled they're gone. Just kind of some thoughts on like last year, lessons learned, and kind of what can be brought in from there going forward.
I mean, the biggest thing is just knowing that, obviously is building a relationships was first for me. The winning and losing, that was going to happen regardless, right? But it was really just building the relationships, getting to know the girls, right? And just changing culture, having a new standard, an expectation, and really just getting the girls to believe that they are better than probably what they think they are. And that's kind of what we've been doing, over this last year or so. Most people say the COVID year doesn't count, and it's kind of like a lost year. But I learned a ton about myself. Conversations that I've had with some of our seniors last year. The senior group really taught me a ton. On the court and off the court through communication, just making myself a better coach and setting a standard. And our group this year is going to be very young. But I mean, they're teaching me a lot right now, from a patient standpoint, being able to just understand them a lot better, asking questions. Obviously, you want to push them and hold them to a high regard. But at the same time, as coaches and as just individuals, we do have to step into their world a little bit too and kind of know them a little bit more too. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, of really getting a chance just to know the girls from a communication standpoint.
I like it. Anna, are we good? I see you're back.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can. We got you.
Yay, sorry.
You're good. You just wanted to introduce yourself and your position and your grade.
Sure. I'm Anna Van Helden. I'm in 10th grade and I play post/guard.
I like it. So, Coach, what we will do then is we kick it to this year, and I'll start with the players. I'll go with Julia. What's kind of the team's mentality on coming into this year? Like I said, no mask, kind of a young group, but young, exciting, talented group. Kind of what's the first thoughts on this year's team?
I feel like a big goal is just like to play as one big team, because a lot of us I feel like are pretty close. It's now gotten to the point where we can finally all play together, don't have to worry about COVID and all that. So I don't know, it'll just be a lot of fun this year, I think, playing all together.
So turning to this year, I kick this to all the players and then we'll ask coach. To any player, is there a game that we have circled that's the night you want to be in the gym, you want to be at that game? I know I always say I know every game is important, the next one's the biggest game, but is there a certain team game that we have that one circled, marked, that we're ready for that one?
I'm really excited to play Hopkins. Like I always watch them like play and like saw them, but I've never like gone up against them or anything. So I think that would be a really good experience, especially for us as such a young group with so much potential that will like really get us going, and we'll learn a lot from that.
To coach, how about you? Is that your game? Is that your choice too for circled game?
Well, here's the crazy thing. I'm so glad CeCe said that, and that's why I like this group, from a competitive standpoint. We don't have the Hopkins game anymore. So the Hopkins game is changed now. There's been a lot of schedule changes. So now we don't play Hopkins, but we do have a lot more. I mean, our conference in itself is always tough, right? So we're gonna get a lot of tough games in our conference. But now, non-conference, we got Tonka, we got EP, we got Wyzetta now, we got STMA, we got Champlain Park, we're at Cooper. I mean, we're starting the season at Cooper, we got Champlain, we're at Minnehaha. I mean, so we got a lot of good non-conference games. I mean, I'm a guy, I respect all opponents, and at the same time, with us being so young, every game is gonna feel like a first time, right? So I'm excited for every game. I'm excited to get better each game, and hopefully by the end of the season, we're trending forward and we can go from there. But a lot of our non-conference games, I'm super excited about.
Plus, you can run into Hopkins at State. You guys can get that game at State. There's that matchup.
Hey, come on, that's the goal, right?
And so you said the word goal. I'll go from there. I always ask coaches, I always say, Cheryl Reeve always talks about their mentality is we don't focus on the big stuff. We do day to day, get better at this. If you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. We'll start with coach. Is your mentality the same way of we focus on day to day, we don't put the big things out there, or you kind of have a mixture of we put out there, goal is state or goal is this, and this is what we do each day to get to it?
No, for me, a lot of people are result driven, right? And they miss the process, right? And the process is very important, especially detail. I'm a big detail guy, right? So, the end result is the same for everybody. Who doesn't want to win the state, right? Who doesn't want to experience that? So we know what everybody's end goal is, right? The question is who's doing what it takes to get there, right? So for me, I'm big on the process. I'm big on detail. And I just want to see girls get better. So progress is the main thing for me. Are we trending forward or are we taking steps backwards, right? Again, we're going to be a very young team. So we're going to have a lot of ups and downs this year. I already know that going into it. But we're going to compete, we're going to work hard, and the goal at the end is to be better by the time we get done. But I try not to think about the end goal. The end goal is going to be there if we do the things that we need to do in the process.
I like it. Alaya, we'll go to you. From the player's perspective, how do you kind of, as yourself, hold yourself accountable, but as as a group too, have the team hold each other accountable for making sure, that we focus on that, what's the task at hand, that practice at hand, that drill at hand type situation?
Like everyone said, we're a young group, so I feel like we just have to take one game at a time because we are young and we're gonna learn. We have to better each other from them games. So I think we just have to take our time and just learn from every game so we can get better every season.
I like it. We'll start kicking into the team now. So my question is, who's the hype person on this team? Who's that person on the court when we get a big and one, we get in a steal, we get in a block, when we doing that, who's that person that's getting hype on the court? Who does that for the team? Anyone feel free to answer.
I mean, I haven't played with all these people like as a group, but I know it's definitely Anna. Like she gets hype for everyone, like even if it's something small, like she'll bring energy to the floor. So
Not just me.
I feel like Sarah too, especially because she's like a senior. Like she's always like cheering so loud, and like I'll like hear from like across the court, like screaming like on the top of her lungs, just like getting so excited. Like there's this one time we were like watching the freshmen, and I swear like this one girl made a basket and she got so excited. It was like the coolest thing ever because everyone just like bounced off of like her energy too.
I was waiting for someone to say coach. I was waiting for someone to say coach is getting everyone hype.
I mean, these girls haven't played for me directly yet, so they'll see, and I eat candy on the sidelines, so I got a lot of energy on the sidelines too. But I think this year is gonna be more player driven this year when it comes to the energy level. But Julia made a great point with Sarah. I can't not mention Sarah Kraus. She's our senior, one of our seniors coming back. She tore her ACL in the summertime, so but she's a pure leader, full of energy, full of positivity. So she definitely will be one of the girls that will be hyped the entire time. Winning or losing, she's always engaged. But I'm excited to see some of these girls come out of their shell a little bit too and exert some of that energy too.
So now the other question I go to, and I sometimes get an answer, and sometimes people don't want to. Is there anyone on the team that's a really good, healthy trash talker? Anyone that's they can hold their own, that they let it be known that they're on the court kind of thing in a healthy way? Anyone want to volunteer someone for that?
I would say CeCe. CeCe's definitely like, and one, let's go. That's a foul. I love it though. Definitely CeCe. She's the best.
You got to have that. You got to have that player like that, CeCe. You got to have that person that you're letting the other team know, like, we on the court here too.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I'm on that court, I just like go crazy. I don't even like think about it half the time what I'm saying or what I'm doing. But no, I haven't like gotten a technical yet. So
Yeah, I always make the joke, I can't back it up. I trash talk at Lifetime every day and I have no game to back it up. So if you got the game, have it. I say go for it. I say if you can back it up, do it. So the next question, we'll start with the players, then we'll go to coach. I always ask, is there a player, male, female, WNBA, NBA, college, or pro, that you model your game after, that you kind of have watched and kind of emulated and wanted to be like? Or that kind of just enjoy watching and hope to be like one day? We'll start with Bree.
For me, it's probably Maya Monahan, and I play with her sister, so like I imagine it's kind of the same to play with Maya. And I don't know, I just really admire the way she like passes and sees her teammates up the court, but then if she knows that the team needs a basket, like she'll at least like make an effort for it. So yeah.
Julia.
That's a hard one. I want to say someone I like look up to is Mallory Hire. She's really like, because I play with her for like, her younger sister for Fury too. We always like see her play, and she's just so like energetic and like brings so much energy onto the court, but also like has game. Like she's able to get like that one shot if we need that or like something like that. So I admire her game.
Alaya.
You probably hit a spot, but Paige, because she's a really confident player. Like she plays with a lot of confidence.
Swaggy P, they call her, I think. Lauren.
I say Chris Paul because he makes his teammates better and he has a really good basketball IQ.
CeCe.
I would probably say Sylvia Fowles because she's like huge and she's a post that can like run, rebound, do it all. And so yeah, I really try to mirror my game with that.
Birthday shout out to Big Phil today. She turned 36. She coming back, I'm calling it. Anna.
I love watching Caitlyn Clark and Paige Becker go head to head. I love watching those games and just seeing them, how good they compete, and like their IQ is insane, and how they can just look up the court and like make those passes and the buckets.
Coach, same question to you. Player you enjoy watching, emulate your game after, kind of male, female, WNBA, college, pro, any?
Man, I'm about to sound like super old right now, but the person when I grew up watching, Gary Payton was one because I was a defensive guy, and it was a college guy. I'm a North Carolina fan, so Ed Cota is my favorite basketball player of all time, any level. He's my favorite player. So those are the two. But right now, I mean, I'm a big Steph Curry guy. He plays the right way. He doesn't need the ball in his hand to make others better. So I think right now Steph Curry is the one player that I like to watch right now.
So what I'm hearing is the UNC fan. I'm guessing we're going to be at the barn when UNC come up to the barn on December 1st. If you guys don't have a game,
We don't play. I am there. Practice might be canceled. I am there. Absolutely. UNC. And Kerwin's there. So how it go. Tar Heel. I'm a Tar Heel for life. And if you're a Duke fan, Eric, I don't know, man. We might not be able to talk after this call.
You might be the only one that's like not celebrating JJ Redick's retirement. You're probably like good riddance.
No Dukies. No Dukies. No, sir.
So next question we'll go to, and now this one kind of in the same vein. We'll start with the players. Is there a player? Now, some of you, I think, you mentioned, kind of one you looked up to. Is there a player that you've never had a chance to play with? Minnesota girls basketball history, present, current, anything that if you had a chance to play, this is the one player in Minnesota girls basketball history you'd want to play with. We'll start with Anna.
Probably Paige Beckers. I think that would just be insane to play with her and just see how she is at practice when you're working out with her, just her mentality. I just love to learn from her.
Alaya.
I don't, maybe in my grade, I just say Alaya probably because she's just really talented. I just feel like it'd be fun.
Lauren.
I probably Paige Beckers too, because I feel like she makes other players better and it'd just be really fun to play with her.
Julia.
I agree. Paige Beckers probably just to see how she plays. I think it'd be fun.
CeCe.
I would obviously say Paige Beckers, but then again, I also have to agree with Julie on her earlier answer. Mallory Hire, at 3 practices and everything, she's just has that grit and that energy. I feel like she'd be insane to play with also.
Bree.
I'm gonna have to say Paige Beckers too, but I think mostly it's because of her energy, and it'd be I feel like everything would be so much better with her. So yeah.
It's a good answer. She sees the court better than, I'm telling you, some of those passes, I'm terrified to be on the court with her because I'm afraid she'd try and throw it to me and I ain't gonna be nowhere looking. It's gonna hit me in the face. So I ain't seeing some of her passes. Coach, now we're gonna kick it to you. A player, Minnesota girls basketball, past or present, that if you've never had a chance to coach, that if you had a chance to coach, who would this be?
I would have loved to coach Paige. I will honestly say Paige Becker is somebody I would have loved to coach. And I'll actually name another person. I'm a big Alexis Pratt fan. Small guard, super gritty. I would have really liked to coach Alexis as well, but obviously, and Amaya Battle. Those are my 3 right there. So Amaya Battle, just because she's a leader, I think she has a lot to offer. Outside of scoring, she does a lot of other things as well. So I would say Amaya Battle, Paige Beckers, and Alexis Pratt. Those are my 3.
So what I'm hearing is a guard coach. I'm hearing someone like those guard that they're the head of the snake type situation. That's where I'm hearing.
Yeah, point guards are super important. That's why Paige is so good because she just makes everybody better. And, a lot of it isn't even her scoring. It is the playmaking ability that she has too, right? So such an important piece to a team. Obviously, every piece is important, right? From post all the way up. But, that's definitely an important piece of the team.
So players, we're going to kick it now. We're going to talk about coach a little bit here. Does coach have any coachisms, saying that his go-to sayings, things that he says often, anything? If you can do an impersonation, there's bonus points there. Does anyone have any coachisms that, he says often, kind of that's his go-to speeches?
All right, listen up, girls. Playing time is on the line. Playing time. So Bree, if you answer this wrong, I'm just joking.
You must have a good one, Bree.
He always puts quotes in the group me chat, and it's he always puts the same 2 emojis after. It's the basketball and then some random hand emoji, and you can tell he thinks he's being really inspirational or something. But
man,
I would say compete always every single day. Compete and stick together. That's what he preaches since he's got to Prior Lake.
Yeah, I mean, our model is like one program, one goal. So I agree, like the stick together part, he says a lot. And one night on the group meet, I got like literally 20 quotes and I was like kept getting these notifications and it was, yeah, pretty inspirational.
Julia, Lauren, Alaya, anything else, any coachisms that you can think of?
He tells us to talk. He like stresses that on defense, like that. That is one of the main things he's saying to us.
Well, I said I always should ask it maybe in the middle of the season when they're in the heat of season. They've heard it every day, every practice, every game. That's when I might get some better. I mean, a little more be like they might. He says this every day, so I might come back to you guys in the middle of the season and see how things are going.
Well, last year the seniors they'll probably say so. I always have like candy. I have candy and chapstick. Well,
Jolly Ranchers.
That's right. So I keep those in my pocket. So last year we was doing a drill and I took a charge. I was, we were working on taking charges. I took a charge and all this candy and chapsticks fell out my pocket. So ever since that day, I've been the candy guy. So girls always ask me for Jolly Ranchers. So that's definitely a ism of mine.
See, I have a story similar, although mine wasn't on purpose. I was walking at an AAU tournament and didn't see a player come running, and I had my bag of Skittles that I always have. She took me out, and the bag of Skittles went flying, and they all looked at me. I'm like, that ain't my fault. Like, I took a charge, and I didn't get called for a charge, and the bag of Skittles went flying. So that stoppage was on me, and I was like, I ain't sitting at that game anymore because everyone's like, there's a Skittles guy. So if you see me with Skittles at your court, just make sure they're closed until I'm in my seat, and then I will not. Then we're safe. And so I want to talk a little bit about the players, when we talked about kind of that one team, one goal, one program, one mentality. We'll start with Lauren. How do kind of you personally, I said, how do you make sure in practice that, what are some of the things that as a program like that is imperative that each player brings to that kind of that they do and kind of feel in that program?
I feel like it's important to have a bond outside of basketball and maintain a friendship and just, yeah, basically.
And then we'll ask Anna, we'll talk about coach. I always say when I watch coach, he makes me feel bad that I drove to the game and didn't walk to the game because he has energy for days and he gets you, like I'm ready to go out in the court. I'm not gonna, because once again, I take one charge and my Skittles go flying, but from your player perspective, what's it like having that coach that has your back and that, he holds you guys to a high standard, but because he knows you guys can get to that high standard kind of thing?
Like when coach pushes us, it makes like me and all the players work harder. And like, I just like make sure I got everyone's back. And like, if I see someone not working hard enough, I tell them like, let's go. You got this, keep pushing. And like, everyone kind of does that to each other. And like, we just hold each other accountable to do the best we can.
Anything, and then will anyone else want to, add to that kind of what's something that's needed in the program on the team? Each individual player kind of has to have to, fit into this culture and style that, coach is trying to build at Prior Lake.
I feel like it's just like positivity and like encouragement because Demondi is all about like pushing each other to like be the best we can be, and like by holding each other accountable, pretty much just what Anna said really helps, and like the energy and everything, just like where we are, and it just really helps, I think.
And coach, and then we'll ask you talked about earlier about building relationships. Why to you is that important for a coach to have that, build that trust with his teammates, kind of know that they know you're invested in them as players and people, and that you have their back on and off the court?
I mean, it's really a trust thing, right? Like how, you're coming into, for me, I'm coming into a situation brand new, right? The girls don't know me, the person, right? Let alone me, the coach. So you have to build trust, especially in you're working with young ladies too, right? So you got to have a trust standpoint. You got to have a comfort there as well, right? So the relationship piece is probably more important than the basketball. These girls are all good at basketball, but how do you bring everything together as one is the question. And that's why I always bring Hopkins up as an example. That's why they've maintained to be so successful, because people look at the talent level there, but they've always, the year Paige and the years before, they're super close, right? They're always together. They work hard. I've had the opportunity to watch them practice a ton, and that's one thing that they've always done in those years was stay together, right? So for me, as a coach, it's very important. You got to have relationships. You're dealing with young ladies, you got to be able to build them up. You can't break them down. At the same time, you have to make them believe and know that they are better than sometimes what they believe they are, right? So there's a fine balance of being tough on them, holding them accountable, but also showing them love at the same time. Because if they don't trust you, if they don't believe in you, then you really don't have a chance, And I think it's important to be the model of that, because I can't ask them to do something, for me that I'm not doing for them, or even something that I'm not carrying in my everyday life. That's why I do send the things I send in our group chat, because I'm honestly up late nights thinking about a lot of these things, right? Or things that I post on social media. For me, it's really being the example of everything that I'm preaching to them, right? So I actually live everything that I'm actually telling these girls I want them to do. And I think, we'll find great success, because of those things, because we will be closer.
I like it. And this is towards the end here. I will give you your guys Wednesday night back, I promise. But I always say I like to have the players describe their teammates. We'll start with Julia. I know we maybe haven't had a lot of games on there, but describe Bree's game and how you feel when she's on the court that's going to be beneficial to Prior Lake.
She's just very like the most relaxed and like smooth player I think I've ever seen her watch. She's so just like crafty. Like I don't know how she does it. Like she'll be like, we'll like give her like, okay, like Bree, like we'll be down by like 3 points. We'll be like, okay, like Bree, you gotta make this 3 with like 2 seconds left. She'll be like completely calm. And just like her game is so smooth and like I'm just still like in awe. It's really good. So
I think she's a lot nicer than me. There's many times at AAU season I saw her get a block out the 3-point line. I'd have given him one of these kind of things, and she just walked away nicely. And I'm like, I was ready to do it in the stand. I'm like, get twice on the pipes. Bree, describe what it's like with for CeCe as a post player. What makes her so special as a post player?
CeCe is definitely one of like my favorite like players to like be on the court with, because like if I get her the ball, she's gonna score it, or she'll make like an amazing pass out for someone else that's relocating on the 3-point line. And she just brings like the most positive energy. Like I don't think I've really ever like heard her like get mad at someone. Okay, well obviously wouldn't do that on the court, but like I've never really heard her like say anything mean about other people. So yeah.
CeCe, describe Lauren as a player. What does she bring to the court when she's out on there?
I love playing with Lauren. We have this little like pick and roll situation that we do a lot, and I just love, she makes the best reads ever. Like she knows when to pull the trigger, she knows when to pass it, she knows like when to do all that, and her defense is amazing. She gets those little picks and runs and gets the layups. It's just so fun to play with her, and I love her energy.
Lauren, what's it like having your guard Anna out on the court? What does she bring from your perspective?
I love playing with Anna. I got to play with her this last season a lot. Whenever I get her the ball, she's gonna score, or she can also shoot threes. And I really like how she plays her defense. Yeah. And I like her energy. She's always encouraging.
Anna, Alaya on the court. What's Alaya bring to the court? What does she do that makes her effective and makes her special out there?
Alaya equals explosive. She's got hops. She can like jump over everyone on the team. Like that's how high she can jump. It's insane. And she can like get to the hoop. She goes downhill. She shoots threes. She does it all too. She can just do anything. Love her.
So if she has a breakaway, I better have my phone ready for a dunk is what I'm hearing.
Yes, definitely. Alaya, be ready.
Alaya, what's it like with Julia? Describe Julia. What does she bring to the court from your perspective?
Julia is one of my favorite players for sure. Like she's just really talented, especially her mid-range game. She's definitely one of the mid-range, like the best mid-range shooter I've played with. And she can always get to the hoop, and you can just count on her to score.
And then coach, we'll let you have a word, anything you want to say about each one of these players, kind of just a little opening thought or kind of from your perspective, what do they bring to the court? Each one of them.
I mean, every girl is unique. The beauty of them all is, none of them are finished products, right? So that's kind of why I'm so excited about this group and some of the other girls that are not on this call. CeCe obviously has tons of potential, unlimited potential, can really dominate a game. So, so we're working on just continuing to just know that she can be that dominant, but she has tons of potential. Lauren, obviously from a leadership standpoint of getting her to even step into that role, right? It's a new role for her. She's probably outside of her and Anna, the only two that really had like meaningful varsity minutes, right? So, Lauren's always been, underrated, and she's always been the younger girl, and now she's the older girl now that'll be playing this year. So I'm super excited to see her grow into that leadership role. And that's one thing that I'm looking for her. Obviously, Anna just being able to expand her game, onto the perimeter as a guard. But her rebounding ability is something that I really adore about Anna, just her motor. She's nonstop. She never stops playing. She's always got, the most energy out there too. Obviously, Alaya, tons of ability with the ball in her hand. Obviously she can score, but very unselfish as well. And I think that's important too, to have somebody that can, break defenders down when needed, and to relieve some of that pressure too. Julia, untapped potential, very, very strong at getting to the basket when she does decide to go. But so much potential. Obviously, having bigger guards is super important too. I think her ability to actually play point guard is something I don't know if a lot of people knows about. To be able to be, 5'10", 5'11", whatever, and be able to play point is definitely a bonus, right? So, and then obviously, having Bree out there, the ability to shoot the ball and stretch the floor is something that every coach needs, right? But then also getting her to understand that I don't want her to be just a three-point shooter, and so we're working on changing games on both ends of the floor, on the defensive end, being able to step up there as well. But just her ability to stretch the floor, her ability to score the ball, and obviously all these girls are super unselfish. That's what I love about this group. Everybody here brings their own individual talent, but you hear everything that they're saying. They all get along, they care about each other, and they are team driven. So each individual girl is great, but none of us are going to do it by ourselves, including myself. So I'm super excited just to bring all their individual talent together, and hopefully we can put it all as one.
I like it. One last question, then I'll let you ladies go. We'll start with Julia. One word to describe the 2021-2022 Prior Lake girls basketball team. What do you got?
There's so many words. I need a little bit of time to think. Probably.
Okay. Well, we'll go to Bree then if you want to think for a little bit.
I don't know. Probably like either ready or energy. I don't know.
Julia, we back to you.
I feel like hardworking because we all want to push each other to get better.
Alaya.
Probably like experience, just because this year is like we're all young, we're just using it to learn and experience new things, so we're ready the year after.
Lauren.
Going off of what Alaya said, learning.
CeCe.
I would probably say hardworking, because I feel like we I feel like the key to our success this year is gonna be outworking the other team.
Anna.
This season is going to be a movie. Lots of things are going to happen, but we're just going to keep on trucking.
I like it. Coach, one word to describe this year's team.
I guess I have to be consistent, compete. I think that is the one word, right? Everybody's talented, right? We're going to face a ton of talented teams, but who's playing hard, but also who's competing, right? Carol Lawson had a nice video about the difference between working hard and competing, right? And I think the girls all work hard, especially individually, but who's competing, right? And I think that's going to be the difference between us being so young, some more experienced teams, like how hard are we playing, but also what is our mentality when we step on the floor. So that's going to probably be the biggest thing that we're going to be preaching this year is competition. And we're so young across the board. I mean, we had a lot of girls that are not on this call. They're all the same age as well, right? So our program is young. So competition is going to be very, very, very tough every single day, all year, every year, you know. So competing is definitely going to be something that we're going to have to do individually within our program and against others.
I like it. I'm very, very excited to get in your gym. Once again, I'll make sure my Skittles aren't open until I'm at my feet. I said I'll have the gray hat on. You will see me at your games. I want to say thank you, coach, young ladies. I want to say thank you for taking your time. That I'm very excited to see your team this year. Young, but exciting, energetic. I'm ready to get the season going. I'll be in the Prior Lake gym. Don't you worry. But thank you, ladies. You guys have a fantastic night.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, ladies and coach.